It took some time, but Roborock has finally entered the world of robots with a rolling mop. Is it any good? Let's find out more. Today we're going to take a look at the Roborock Qrevo Curve to Flow, which was just announced at CES. I actually had this robot for a couple of weeks now, and I've been using it extensively. And before I share my thoughts and the results of my testing, let's talk about features. Of course, the main highlight is that this does not have a rotating mop or a vibrating mop, but a rolling mop. And personally, I'm a fan of robots with rolling mops because they operate a bit differently and, in my opinion, better. A vibrating or a rotating mop mimics actual mopping in the sense that you have a microfiber that is saturated with water and you are dragging it across the floor. And as you clean your floor, that microfiber is gonna get dirty, and at some point you will be dragging dirt or a less clean microfiber across your floors. Now granted, these robots do go back to their base station to clean them up, but up until now this is generally based on time and not dirt level, which means after a predefined amount of time, the robot assumes it's time to clean the mop and heads back to the station to clean it. And this is where, in my opinion, rolling mops are better, because they are continuously being cleaned, continuously being fed with clean water as they are mopping, and all the dirty water is sucked into a separate dirty water tank on the robot. So effectively, that rolling mop is not only self-cleaning as it goes along, but you are always cleaning your floor with fresh water. The other benefit, because it's not a mopping pad that may get saturated, but rather there's actual water that's being sucked, the robot can also more confidently clean wet spills without the risk of saturating the mops, as all that water or liquid is going to be sucked onto the onboard water tank. So the main feature, of course, of the Qrevo Curve to Flow is that rolling mop, and they've done a good job there. It's a long brush at 270 millimeters, which is longer than many of the other products in the market, which means it has a larger surface area in contact with the floor, so better or faster cleaning. It rotates at 220 rounds per minute, and it has 8 nozzles that spray water on it, and a scraper that removes excess water. And the dirty water, as I said, is collected in a dirty water tank, which is on board. And one of the nice things here is that this is removable, which is very important. I've seen and I've tested rolling mopping robots with an onboard water tank that's not removable. And the reason this is important is that after some usage, you do need to clean this, and the fact that it is accessible and you can clean it and rinse it is a definite plus. So I'm glad Roborock went this route. And in that spirit of easy maintenance, the roller brush is also very easy to remove and clean, as you can lift it up and remove it entirely for easy cleaning. And one of the problems of rolling mops is that they might get your carpets wet. Despite the fact that they do lift up when a carpet is detected, and the Roborock is no exception, the rolling mop can lift itself up to 15 millimeters, but nonetheless, this has typically been an issue with these kinds of rollers, because there's a very good chance they will get your carpets wet, especially if you have high-pile carpet. But Roborock has a solution for that, and they're not the first to do that. We've already seen it on other products in the market, but there is a roller shield that drops in automatically to cover that roller brush as soon as carpet is detected. So as soon as the robot detects carpet, it's going to lift up its roller brush and it's going to cover it with that shield, therefore ensuring that your carpets remain 100% dry. The roller also extends to the edge for edge cleaning, and we'll see that in the cleaning test later on. There are dual rotating brushes, and as you can see, they are curved, and Roborock says this helps with ensuring they remain tangle-free. And in my tests, they were tangle-free. I did not get any hair tangled on them. They also can lift up, which is really important, and I'll tell you in just a second why. The main brush, which is a duo divide, it helps in anti-hair tangle, and again, we'll see that in the test later on, can also lift itself up. And the reason it is important that both the side brushes and the main brush can lift themselves up, because if a wet spill is detected, the robot automatically stops the vacuum, it lifts up the side brushes and lifts up the main brush, and only activates the mop. It's going to mop that wet spill, depositing that spill into the onboard dirty water tank. And this is quite important because you really don't want your side brushes to get dirty with wet spills, but also you don't want your vacuum to be sucking in any liquid. And before we move on, if you liked the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel as this encourages me to continue producing content. So enough talk about this, let's see it in action in the cleaning tests, and I set the scene for some tough stains and spills. On the floor you see two dried stains. These are ketchup and coffee that were dried over 12 hours, a fresh liquid coffee spill, and fresh wet ketchup. The first thing that happened, that wet coffee stain and ketchup stain were instantly detected as wet spills. The robot cut off the vacuum, lifted up the main brush, lifted up the side brushes, and went over that stained area and got them 100% out, which was awesome to see. And this is typically not something that you see successful with several mopping robots. And once it tackled those two wet stains, next up were the tough stains. These were the dried out ketchup and coffee that were dried over 12 hours. The coffee stain was not detected as a stain, but fortunately the ketchup stain was. That could be because it was a large stain and it had a visible contrast. The stain was red and the floor was white. But after having detected it, it did treat it as a mess, albeit it detected it as a wet mess, although it wasn't. But the fact that it did detect it as a mess meant, again, it cut the vacuum, lifted up the brush rolls, and went over that mess multiple times. I have to note though that when I sent it out to clean that area, I did select in the app to clean twice and also to do a deep clean. So it's going to go over that area both in the horizontal and vertical way. So it's going to crisscross cleaning, which results in a more thorough cleaning. And here I was very happy to see that from that first run, it got a lot of that ketchup mess out. Do keep in mind that ketchup dried over 12 hours is a very tough stain. Even wet and dry vacuums struggle to get it out. They do get it out, but they require multiple passes. A quick side anecdote over here. I was very excited to see how effective that mopping is on the Roborock. So as soon as I got a notification that my delivery is happening the next day, I set that stain on the floor and waited that 12 hours in anticipation of receiving the robot the next day. Guess what? It was around Christmas. There were delays, and I never got the robot for another couple of days. So naturally I decided to remove that stain on the floor, and I tried with water alone. It was very difficult to remove. I actually gave up on removing it. I had to spray it with a cleaning detergent, which also did not work, so I had to find another detergent that eventually got the stain out. All this to say that cleaning a ketchup stain dried over 12 hours simply with water is no easy feat, and I was very happy to see that the Roborock was able to get a lot of that stain out, something that a lot of the mopping robot vacuums that I've tested do not succeed in doing. Now, while it did detect that stain and went over it multiple times, one thing it did not do, and that's a feature you can enable in the app, where it's supposed to, once stains are detected, go back to mop them again. That it did not do. So when it finished its standard run in that area, it went back to the base. So I had to send it out a second time manually to clean that area. And in that second time, it did get most of that stain out, which again was very impressive. Many of the mopping robots I've tested were not able to do that, and I have to send them out multiple times to get that stain out. When it comes to the coffee stain, it did a good job at getting the coffee from almost the first or second run. However, I was a bit disappointed with the edge cleaning performance. As you can see, it did not get very close to the edge. Another nice thing is that not only detects wet spills, it also detects dust, debris, or particles on the floor. As I had it cleaning my floor, there was a section that had a lot of breadcrumbs, which I wasn't even aware of, but I suddenly heard the vacuum kick into higher mode. So I went to see why that was happening, and I saw there was actually crumbs on the floor. So there are a couple of messes that the vacuum can detect and react accordingly. And in the case of crumbs or a dry mess, it will increase the suction power to get all that out, which was nice to see. Now take a look at the brush roll after cleaning that whole ketchup mess. It is surprisingly clean. Had I been cleaning this with a rotating or vibrating mop, it would have been probably all red from the ketchup stain. But since this roller mop is continuously being fed with clean water and cleaning itself as it rotates, this was surprisingly and impressively clean. And this is what the dirty water tank looked like. And again, this is a result of all that cleaning and depositing all that dirty water into that onboard water tank. Once that run was done, the robot went back to the base and cleaned its brush roll. And this is what the brush roll looked like after cleaning. And again, it did an impressive job at cleaning the brush roll. And after the cleaning is done, it does dry the brush roll out. I tested with my thermal camera. The temperature was around 40 degrees. It's gentle drying. There are 3 settings on the app which you can configure. Surprisingly, it's no longer 2, 3, 4 hours, but rather eco, standard, or deep. Not very consequential. but an interesting change I noticed over here. I did have it set at Eco and it was around 2 hours. It was very effective. The brush roll was dry after the time. However, the drying was a bit too loud, or a bit louder than I would have liked. It is not loud, but a noticeable hum in the background, especially if the robot is in the same area or space you are living in. I also tested the anti-hair tangle and I was a bit disappointed here, but this is something that I've seen consistently amongst most, if not all, robot vacuums, most of which do claim 100% tangle free, whereby they are not 100% tangle free, at least with larger strands of hair, as you can see. However, what does work slightly in its favor is that the tangled hair was not very difficult to remove, so you can slide it just off, but it was not 100% tangle free as promised, at least with longer strands of hair. Now, when it comes to navigation, another important factor, it was okay. It wasn't great and it wasn't terrible. Keep in mind, this is the Qrevo lineup. It's not Roborock's flagship like the Saros, so it does not have their flagship navigation, which is Star Sight. It has reactive AI, which I would say is their mid-tier navigation. It does a good job. Now, I did set an obstacle course that I usually do with robot vacuums, where I had a sock, a cable, and poop to simulate pet poop. And it was a hit or miss over here. Sometimes it would avoid them. Sometimes it would drag the poop, eat up the sock, and get tangled with the cable. So navigation was okay, hit and miss. However, when I did send it out to clean the house and I purposely left it in a mess, it did much better than I expected. On the dozen or so runs that I sent it out, only once did it get tangled on a cable, and a second time it ate a sock. But considering how messy I purposely left the house with things lying around left and right, I was actually very impressed with how well it navigated. So while the performance in my obstacle course was not great, real-world performance was much better than expected, and I would expect this can successfully clean your entire house with very minimal to no tangling or no getting stuck on things. So here are my thoughts on the Roborock Qrevo Curve 2 Flow. It's not a perfect machine, but we do have to keep in mind this is not their flagship. Now, I don't know why they've introduced their first rolling mop in the Qrevo lineup rather than a Saros, for example. Maybe they're testing out the market for that. But the fact that this is not flagship means I should slightly lower my expectations. Granted, I really don't know what price point it's going to be launched at, as at the time I'm shooting this review, this is not officially launched yet. But if I treat it as a mid-tier Roborock, despite it not being perfect and having a few things I wish were different, it's still an excellent robot. Before I tell you what I loved about it, let me start by the few things that I did not particularly love. First, the edge cleaning performance, I wish it was a bit better. Second, the navigation, but this is again not something I could fault it in. I'm sure if it had the Starsight navigation, would have been much better. So maybe I should say I wish it had the Starsight navigation, which is Roborock's latest navigation, rather than reactive AI, but at least in a real world situation, it did a pretty good job. I wish the hair-tangle was better, but that's again something I've wished almost all robot vacuums had. And I wish the drying session was slightly quieter, especially if the robot is in the same living space you are in. And lastly, I wish it could actually detect stains and mop them again. So for the moment, it appears it detects a stain first time around, marks it as a stain, and then mops it, but it doesn't seem to be continuously doing that detection to actually see if the stain was removed completely or not. So that's another thing I wish it had. From the robots that I have tested, I haven't seen that implemented, or at least implemented well yet, but it's on my wish list. But all the things that I did not like kind of pale when it comes to things I loved about this, and starting with the mopping effectiveness, and I was very pleasantly surprised and actually exceeded my expectations how well it actually mopped, especially that tough ketchup stain. I was also very happy to see the stains were detected. Now, not all stains were detected, and if there were smaller stains, sometimes it would miss them. But once a stain is detected, the mopping performance was pretty impressive. I love that the design strategy here was easy maintenance, firstly with the onboard water tank that is removable, and second with the easy removal of the rolling brush for maintenance and cleaning. The scraper can be removed, even the brush cover can be removed, so easy maintenance is a plus for this machine. And I really like that when stains were detected, lifts up the vacuum, stops the main brush, lifts up the side brushes. So even with something like fresh ketchup, which normally would have gotten the bottom of a robot vacuum, all dirty, got nothing dirty, and the rolling mop was able to clean all that mess 100%. So that goes back into the impressive mopping, which is at the end of the day what I would want from a mopping robot vacuum. That's it for me. I will put links in the description to the product page of the Qrevo Curve to Flow once it becomes available for sale. These could be affiliate links, so if you do decide to purchase this, I would appreciate if you would go through these links. I may earn a small commission at absolutely no extra cost to you, but this will greatly help support the channel. As always, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as this encourages me to continue producing content. Until next time, cheers.